What's going on, guys? This is Jordan Miller. I'm the owner and founder of Breathe Heavy, and welcome to the latest live stream. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the love and support. This YouTube channel has gained a lot of momentum in the last couple of weeks since starting these live streams, and better yet, I actually really enjoy doing these. They give me life. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't already, please make sure that you smash the like button and please subscribe. I would love to hit 10,000 subscribers in the next few months. We're halfway there, so just any engagement that you can do basically tells the YouTube algorithm to promote these videos and spread this channel across more people's accounts, which would then create more shows and just gain even more momentum. So now that you got that pitch, let's dive right in. So per usual, we have a lot to cover. There's a bunch of stories that I want to get to about Britney. And then what I'm going to do is bring up some comments during the live stream and answer some questions. And if you're watching this live stream after the fact, please feel free to drop a comment anyway. I'm responding to 100% of those comments. So looking forward to engaging with you and building this community even more on YouTube. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk to you about is Jamie Spears wanting to depose Britney, have her sit down for a deposition and basically grill her. And I have some thoughts on this. Basically a preview. It pisses me off. So we're going to get into that and kind of like what this all could look like. We're also going to talk about Britney's next post about dragging Jamie Lynn and calling her scum again, which is interesting because she low-key recanted. She low-key like took it back a few weeks ago when she called Jamie Lynn scum the first time. So we're going to take a look at that. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that. A bar in Nashville put Jamie Lynn on blast. So I'm going to show you that video and kind of share my thoughts on that. Britney seemingly apologized to Alexa Nikolas. She's Jamie Lynn's former co-star on Zoe 101. So I'm going to share the tea there that happened, I believe, today and partly yesterday. Also want to play this really heartwarming video of Dolly Parton saying really nice things about Britney. So share that. And then while we're on the subject of Lerv, I'm going to play you a clip of Paris Hilton showing Britney some love. So that's also new. And then to round out the Britney stories, we have a cryptic Instagram story from Kevin Federline's wife, who had this to say. So I just want to share my thoughts on that as well. Also want to talk to you about Janet Jackson's new documentary, specifically the part where she talks about what people on Breathe Heavy are calling Nipplegate. And she's low-key defending Justin Timberlake. And so I just am curious to hear what your thoughts are. I'll unpack my own thoughts on that as well. We also got big news today that Rihanna is pregnant. So I'm also interested to hear what you think about her being pregnant in relation to R9. So we're going to unpack that as well. And then last but not least, I want to play this video of Katy Perry, low-key joking, but like, who knows? She's just like answers someone's like saying, I'm not as famous as Ariana Grande. So we got a lot to unpack. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn or maybe some, I don't know, carrots and hummus, something more healthy. Enjoy the show. Let's do this. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do is what I've done in all the other shows as well. I'm going to show you Exhale when I talk about these stories. And Exhale is the forum component of Breathe Heavy. So if you haven't already joined Exhale, you got some homework to do. You got to like this video. You got to subscribe to this channel. And then after you're done watching a lot of my live streams, hopefully you'll go to Breathe Heavy. You'll go to Exhale. You'll register an account. It's completely free. Takes less than 30 seconds. And you're going to be joining a really amazing community of people who love Britney, who love pop music, and it's just a great place to stay connected with people, especially in a time where we're in a pandemic and just this whole social distancing thing and just things are weird. It's great to have like another network. So the first thing I want to pull up is Jamie Spears wanting to depose Britney, and obviously it's despicable. So let me show you that here. So this is what I'm going to do is pull up Exhale. Yeah, here we go. Okay. And this topic was first created by Madame Freedom. Okay. And I kind of interjected my own words into this post, wrote a little story. So essentially what went down is Jamie Spears' lawyer, in fact, let me refresh this page real quick. He sent Matt Rosengart a letter and he essentially said, look, we want to depose Britney. We want to ask her a couple things. And I'm going to show you this guy's photo. This is who he is. His name is Alex Weingarten. And so I have some thoughts on him that I'll get to in a second. And by the way, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is my own opinion. I feel like it's important for me to say that because I've been entangled with a bunch of the legal stuff in this Britney saga throughout the years, and I'm just like, I'm over it. So just my own opinion. So he emailed Mr. Rosengart and said, we write to advise that we intend to depose your client and would like to discuss a mutually agreeable date to conduct the deposition. Now, what's interesting about this is Matt Rosengart has been trying to get Jamie Spears to sit down for a deposition for weeks, essentially to understand, a couple main key points. One, what went down with you while you were conservator over Britney. We want to know about the alleged abuse, Britney being, surveilled without her consent or her even knowing, putting listening devices allegedly in her bedroom. They also allegedly spied on her conversations that she had with her own legal counsel, which is a whole rabbit hole in itself because it's like she's in a conservatorship. And so the court deems her incapacitated to be able to it's just a mess. And basically it's just whether you're a conservatee or not, you are owed the right to be able to discuss things with your legal counsel without it being listened in on, allegedly is what happened. So one thing that's also worth mentioning is that Weingarten says that Jamie Spears will sit down for the deposition, basically, if Britney will. And so they're kind of using this as leverage. And they say this. Some of the things that they want to discuss include her testimony that she gave last June, where she said that she wasn't allowed to get married or have a baby. And then they want to ask her about the mental health facility stay that Britney says she was forced to be in it, essentially against her will. And they also want to ask her about, quote, child safety and possible drug use. That's not that particular part of this story. I don't particularly want to publicize, but at the same time, I do feel like it's important in the context of everything because of how low they're willing to go. Britney's been under this conservatorship, under the watchful eye of all these people trying to control her, and now they're alleging pretty dark things. So the email ended with, if we have not heard from you regarding these matters by the close of business on Friday, February 4th, we'll proceed unilaterally. So it just feels like it's a veiled threat, essentially. So I'm gonna just quickly check the comments real quick, make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, cool. Okay, we're good. Okay, so what I want to mention about this is that this to me feels like bullying. This to me feels like it's harassing Britney. She's legally free from this situation, but they're not letting her go. And Jamie Spears continually wanting to insert himself into her life by illegal means is another form of emotional abuse. He's not willing to let it go. And that to me, this whole notion of letting go, I mean, there's so many areas in all of our lives, I think, that we can all relate to, getting to a place where you're just so exhausted with something that you're unwilling to move one more step forward or backward or whatever. And it's so puzzling to me that Jamie Spears has this ironclad grip on this situation and refuses to see the light, refuses to take a breath and try to maybe soul search in his later years and maybe try to find some peace, or who knows. And so to me, this just feels like it's a tactic to try to hurt her. And Vivian Thoreen was Jamie Spears' representation prior to Alex Weingarten. She was obviously, vicious and problematic in her own right, but this to me feels even worse. It's just very it's just not right what they're doing. And they continue to emotionally try to hurt her. And she's just trying to live her best life, going to Hawaii and just trying to smile and get a dog, a puppy, and get a kitten and celebrate the holidays and be engaged. It's I think Britney's just trying to enjoy the little things in life, and this stuff just keeps getting thrown in her face. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm curious to know what you think. Do you think that Britney should have to sit down for a deposition because of the claims that she made? I'm genuinely curious to hear if there's anyone with that stance. For me, it's she finally got to speak her, share her 2 cents on her abusive situation. And it's now they're trying to punish her for that. So just, like I said, just move on, let her live, and don't get me wrong. I get the irony of me drudging this up and talking about this, but I feel like it's important. Like, we can't just let these like shady characters, in my opinion, shady characters like get away with this. So, all right, on to the next. Again, Britney kind of lashes out at Jamie Lynn, and I don't say that in like a way where like, oh, she did it again. That pun. Um, it's just, I was a little surprised at the timing of this because she was just in Hawaii. So I was under the impression maybe she's getting some peace from the situation and just like being like, I'm gonna leave this in LA. And but wherever you are, that's where you go. And so, or wherever you go, that's where you are. And Britney could have gone to Hawaii, but like her feelings are still hurt. She still feels betrayed. Jamie Lynn's still profiting off of this situation. And so Britney decided to call her out in a post that's now been deleted. And this post actually relates to a story that we're going to talk about in a minute. So I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to read you a little bit of what Britney's caption was. I can't show you the post anymore, like I mentioned, because the post has been deleted. And that's pretty common in Britney's Instagram. It's like she'll post something and it'll disappear. So that's why members on Breathe Heavy quote her captions and put it like this, because it's very likely it could be deleted. So here's what you want to know. She says national bestseller, and this was in reference to what the video was a bunch of talk show hosts talking about Jamie Lynn's book. And she's like, congrats, bestseller. I'm not surprised at all. The nerve of you to sell a book now and talk your beep, but you're effing lying, just like you lied about Alexa Nikolas. I wish you would take a lie detector test so all these masses of people could see you're lying through your teeth about me. I wish the almighty Lord would come down and show this whole world that you're lying and making money off me. You are scum. So just from a bird's eye view, I find that to be like a bummer, because it's like it's still two sisters like hurting. Okay. And I think from Jamie Lynn's point of view, it's like she probably feels like she's been backed into a corner, and Britney has immense influence. So when Britney calls somebody scum, it's like I'm sure Jamie Lynn's getting an avalanche of hate. At the same time, it's like, who are we now is not Britney cannot be silenced. That's the whole point of everything, of what went down for so long. So I think it's important she's sharing her truth. But yeah, I do wish like they could somehow try to find some way to mend their relationship. But like, a book is out. There's no taking that back. So the only way I think that they could proceed moving forward is if Britney decides to be the one to be the bigger person, which she, recently was like, I'm always the bigger person. I think she's just kind of over that. But I think it's going to have to kind of balls in Britney's court. And she's going to have to be the one to decide whether she wants to do that eventually or not. So that takes us to this next story of Britney. Seemingly, we don't have confirmation of this, but she apologized to Alexa Nikolas. And just to remind you, Alexa was a co-star in Zoe 101 with Jamie Lynn. And there's the backstory is, it gets a little tangled, but essentially, at one point, Alexa Nikolas said that Britney yelled at her, like way back when, years and years, like 20 years ago or whatever, on set. And then at one point, Alexa Nikolas felt like Jamie Lynn was a bully towards her. So there was like some animosity between the Spears sisters and like Alexa Nikolas. Well, the whole thing about, Britney, we don't know if that's true or not, but it does seem like she apologized like within the last week or so. And another thing worth mentioning is that Alexa Nikolas is in Jamie Lynn's book. From what I'm told, I haven't read the book. And Alexa Nikolas takes kind of some shots at Jamie Lynn for basically saying whatever she put in this book about her, it's a lie. And so it's like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Alexa's calling Jamie Lynn out for lying. Britney's calling Jamie Lynn out for lying. So, kind of do the math there. So I'm going to share what was said. And it sounds to me like Alexa got some closure. So here's just some screenshots, and we're under the impression, that Britney apologized. You can see from these comments that, I take it back. I stand corrected. She confirms, Britney apologized. She says childhood wound fully healed. And so here is kind of, you can unpack this more a little bit. Just by the way, every story that I'm reading and will continue to read, you can check out the story on Exhale in the description. I put all the links there, so you can kind of check that out, the nitty gritty, and you can see what people are commenting. This post was done by Watch Me Work It on Exhale. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool to hear that Britney apologized, because I think we often put Britney in this like untouchable category. Like, and it's nice to remember, like, yeah, she's still a person. She's still like, she's still self-aware enough to be like, all right, I think I messed up, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I think that's really cool if Britney did indeed do that. Love that. And it's worth mentioning that Britney called Alexa Nikolas out in one of those recent posts, slamming Jamie Lynn. So yeah, love that. Moving on, this is the last Jamie Lynn story that I'm going to bring up. Hopefully for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I'm personally just like, I guess I'm just kind of over it. Like, we get it. But at the same time, like in the Britney world, this is big news. So I'm just kind of curious, like, are you kind of like burned out with Jamie Lynn stuff? Drop me a comment right now. Let me do a quick check of the comments here. See what people are saying. Oh, I agree. Okay, I'll check some of these out in a little bit as well. Let's keep this moving. All right, I'm gonna play you this little clip and see what you think here. So this is a bar in Nashville, and they put Jamie Lynn on blast. So here it goes. Hopefully you can hear this. So they're just calling Jamie Lynn mean. My initial thought when I saw that, I was like, that's just like, I don't know. I don't like this like piling on culture, or like, let's just get her. I'm not defending her. I think she's done a lot of like stupid things, and like she was silent for many years, and it benefited her, in my opinion. But I also don't like this, like, let's all just like throw up a middle finger and say, F her. I just feel like, here's my stance on that, and then I'll move on from being mushy. Whenever you dislike somebody or you hate on them, for the most part, like, unless they see it, obviously, like, they're gonna feel hurt. But like, you also feel that hurt. So when you're like hating on someone, like, you are generating the feeling of hate. So it's like, why would you want to do that? I just personally don't. I don't want to do that. So just like my own unsolicited 2 cents. All right, now on to something more fun. I love this little interview clip here of Dolly Parton. She's supporting Britney. She says, "We're not products, we're people. I really get rubbed wrong sometimes when people mistreat the artist. I don't like that." So I'm going to show you the actual clip here. She's super cute. I'll shoot, my ring light went out, of course. Loop. Okay. Glad this is live. All right. So this is the clip here. Super cute. Check this out.
But it's just like all the stuff that happens, like with Britney Spears, and with when they get controversy about all that, you have to kind of stand up for yourself. You're allowed to be you, and if it's you that's making the money, and it's you that's that the one that they're putting out there like a product or something. We're not products, we're people. We agree to a degree. You are a product to a certain degree, but you know that. But that's just called your brand, that sort of thing. Just like me selling cakes, and like as enough years go by.
Okay. I also like low key fangirl when Dolly Parton talks about brands. Like, I just love that. Like, marketing queen. Okay.
Your name and your reputation, people know if you're selling something, it's going to be a good product, and you want to be able to do a lot of things, and because there's a lot of money in that you can donate to charity or help your family with, and so I do a lot of things like that. But I don't. I really get rubbed wrong sometimes when people mistreat the artist. I don't like that.
Queen. That was posted by Finesse on Exhale. Thank you so much. I love that. Love the clip. It warmed my heart. She's a legend, and she's talking about a legend. So love that. Next up is another legend talking about a legend. Paris Hilton comments on Britney and what, like, seemingly her well-being after the conservatorship. So I thought this was some interesting insight. It appears that they're still in communication. So check this out.
Paris, Cammy O wants to know how Britney's doing since the termination of her conservatorship. Are you two in touch?
I spoke to her like right around the wedding, and she's happy, feels free, and is in an amazing place.
That's great.
Love that. I love to see them together, like physically together. That would just be really cool. Universe, make that happen. And that kind of reminds me, every time I talk about Paris and Britney, like I'm just gonna geek out for a quick second and like live in my glory days, which is when I met Britney back in 2007 for the first time. And like long story short, we went up to this hotel party that was being thrown, and Paris Hilton was there. So like imagine standing in a circle with like Britney Spears and Paris Hilton, like like it was crazy. And I'm just gonna like speak about that at any chance I can because it was epic for me. All right, last piece of Britney news. This one's gonna be quick because I'm kind of over it. Well, not with Britney, but this lady. So Kevin Federline's wife, she weighs in on the whole, seemingly weighs in on everything, and she says, she posted this on Instagram. God gave you 2 ears so you could hear both sides of the story. And it's like, I'm sure she has her own side, but I'm also just like, you have like legit benefited from Britney's bank account for, I don't know, 10 plus years. So it's not all about the money, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't like that. Again, I'm like ride or die. So I guess that makes sense, but it's just like, just don't. Honestly, like props to K-Fed. He's like never chimed in on anything. He's just like, I'm assuming he's doing that because he doesn't want to like rock the boat. He needs like his livelihood depends on Britney Spears, literally. And I get the irony of that. However, I have a full-time job. So just throwing that out there. Okay. Moving on, we're switching gears here, and I'm bringing this plane home. I'm going to play this little clip of Janet Jackson talking about Justin Timberlake, which is really one of the first times she explicitly, like, in my opinion, talks about this and talks about the Super Bowl halftime show. And she's straight up defending JT. By the way, it's JT's birthday today. Happy birthday, Justin Timberlake. I'm sure that I'm going to get some hate from Britney fans, but I'm a big JT fan. I've liked all of his albums, so I'm not trying to choose sides here. So let me pull this clip up for you and see what you think. Okay. So, by the way, this is from her new documentary that the first part aired this weekend. Here goes.
Honestly, this whole thing was blown.
Okay, so I'm not convinced that you can hear that. Give me one quick second here. Let me turn the volume up. Oh, shoot. All right, I'm just gonna keep this going.
Way out of proportion. And of course, it was an accident that should not have happened, but everyone is looking for someone to blame, and that's got to stop. Justin and I are very good friends, and we will always be very good friends. We spoke just a few days ago, and he and I have moved on, and it's time for everyone else to do the same.
Okay, so she said, let me just quickly replay the beginning in case you couldn't hear it. Sorry.
Honestly, this whole thing was blown way out of proportion. And of course, it was an accident.
Okay, I wanted to play that part specifically because I just couldn't like wrap my head around that. Janet's like legit saying that the like reveal was an accident still. And I'm like, we're still like holding on to that story. I mean, I guess it's plausible. I posted about this on Breathe Heavy's Instagram. If you want to follow it, it's at Breathe Heavy. And you can follow me at Jordan Miller as well. But some of the comments on Breathe Heavy's Instagram when I made a post about this were like, there was like some red like fabric and that accidentally got pulled as well. I personally am just like, I'm not buying this. I'm convinced it was a publicity stunt. He literally sings "Gonna Have You Naked" by the end of this song, and then she's naked. I mean, not naked, but exposed. And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, I wish you'd be like, if this were really the case, like, yeah, we freaking did that. We wanted to do a stunt. Like, in hindsight, maybe we shouldn't have, but we did it, and it caused controversy, and like that's what we were going for, and like we wanted a moment. So I'm just having trouble buying that it was like an accident. And then, she's defending JT, which I think is interesting because like I don't remember her doing that. And there was a story I remember that JT wanted Janet to be part of his Super Bowl performance a few years ago. I wish that would have happened, you know, if she's like on good terms with him and she's been friends with him ever since. And I'm like looking back, I'm like, I wish she would have done that. I thought she was like, no, F you, dude. Like, you totally did me dirty. So like, I'm gonna have nothing to do with you and help you in any way. But they're cool with each other. So just finding that interesting. I'm curious to know what you think. Please drop me a comment about this. Do you think that it was an accident? Am I just being like a hater, or do you feel like Janet's being a little coy? And you know, so I'm curious to hear what you think. All right, so we got some big news today. Rihanna is pregnant, and she's with A$AP Rocky. Apparently, they also got married. So congrats to them. I'm gonna just quickly show you a little pic here, and also what I find really interesting about this is that so here's one of the shots. And what I find interesting about this is like a nod to Madonna. Look, like a prayer. See? I love that. I think that's awesome. I don't know why my voice did that, but I think it's super cool that she like paid her respects to the queen. So congrats to them. It sucks that everyone's saying like this album R9's never coming. I look at it from Rihanna's point of view mostly. Like, yes, obviously I love new Rihanna music. She's epic. But I look at her from her point of view. It's like she's making tons of money with her brands. Like, going and making an album means she's gonna have to tour, and like touring, as we know, is like legit a nightmare. And then throw in like the whole pandemic side of things. It's just the logistics makes it way more difficult. So I can understand why she's just like not wanting to put an album out. I wish she would. I don't know. Maybe she could put an album out without having to tour, but I feel like labels are like, no, you need to make us that money, honey. So, bitch, but I got that money. So I'm happy for her, but yeah, I love some new Rihanna music. All right, last but not least, I just want to play this silly clip of Katy Perry. It just made me laugh. I just think she's, I'm rooting for her. You know, like, I think that she gets a lot of hate from people. I think she's really like turned things around. She's like, you know, she's a mom now. I think she's kind of let that like kind of mean streak, I think that maybe she had once upon a time, she's let it go. She's a different person. So check out this clip. I hope it's not going to be crazy loud.
Catherine, you're not saying black.
I'm doing it. Yeah. Not as famous as Ariana Grande.
That look kills me. Some kid goes, "Are you famous?" No, not as famous as Ariana Grande. I don't know why that made me laugh so much, but it just did. And since you're here, since you're watching, I do want to do a quick bonus story that I didn't announce in the beginning of this live stream. Just like, it's like, consider it like a bonus track. And it's Justin Bieber. It's a Justin Bieber story, so brace yourself. He bought an NFT, another Bored Ape NFT for $1.3 million. And so it's essentially he owns the original digital replica of this. And seemingly Britney bought a Bored Ape NFT. So I just found that interesting. It's like, imagine spending $1 million, 1.3 million on this. But NFTs are all the rage, and I hope he makes a return on his investment, because girl, that is something. Oh shoot, I had the wrong banner. That's what you get for a bonus story. I'm just going to quickly take a look at some of these comments here. I really appreciate you chiming in. Honestly, this means everything to me. Someone said, so Caleb Ellis, who is a frequent commenter on these live chats, thank you so much. Boy or girl, R9, who knows? Hopefully she has triplets, boy, girl, and R9. Let's see what else we got here. Someone's talking, oh, Caleb again mentioned accidents happen to legends too, in terms of like Janet's reveal. Ocean Man saying we should get a Stars Are Blind Part 2 with Britney. Oh, check this out. Someone gave me $5. Keep up the great work. Nice to see you on my recommendations. I really appreciate that. OAK1, or maybe that's a 0. Thank you. So yeah, if you're watching, you can actually like super chat me, throw me some funds. All the money that I get from these live streams, I'm going to put into an account, and I'm going to dedicate it for these live streams. So like, for example, I'd love to get like a new Blue Yeti microphone, so I can have like a legit microphone versus like something like this. So anyway, any support you can do would be greatly appreciated. You know, I do this with or without making any money, but like, money's awesome. So anything you can do to contribute, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to take a couple more look at these comments before I got to run. Some of them are spicy. Caleb again saying Rosengard would say it's bullying, and it is. I agree. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Last but not least, someone mentioned Katy Perry's SNL performances. You know, I did actually want to talk about that on this live stream, but there was just so much to cover. I didn't get a chance. But yeah, she killed it. So really appreciate you weighing in. Thank you for watching this so much. I love you guys. I cannot wait to do the next live stream. Please, again, if you're just tuning in now, I know I'm a broken record, but like this video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And leave a comment. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.